This video has multiple purposes. First of all, updates. One update. I'm back to playing World of Warcraft. I now play mostly on the Icecrown server as a human paladin. Look for a human paladin named Marketus. Also, this video. Oh, another update. I'm not gonna be returning to Mark's Corner. That it really disappoints me that I won't be, but I've got so much stuff I have to worry about right now that I just can't keep up with it. So I'll still put videos up on YouTube, but I can't do the bi-weekly episodic Mark's Corner. So I'm sorry about that. Anyways, the other purpose of this video is a couple of friends of mine were interested in role-playing games, and it's no mystery that I like role-playing games. So I'm making this video just to inform them of a couple of the games that I play that they might be interested in. First game is one I've been playing for almost a year now, and it was the first role-playing game I ever played. I played it about a year ago at my cousin Amber's house, and that was Dungeons and Dragons. The first system I played was actually 3.5, and I really liked the game, so I formed my own group. Unfortunately, when I went to my local game store to buy the 3.5 manuals, by then they were only selling 4.0. And while 4.0 has some good artwork, I do not recommend it to my friends. The system was really broken up in many forms. At least in my eyes, it was. Granted, yes, it did have nice artwork, such as this. That's okay. Such as this, which I might actually consider being a trap at some point for my players to go through. And honestly, how can you not tell me that that doesn't look awesome? My first issue with this game, or at least this edition, if you'll notice here, I don't know if you can see it, I can't see it very well from on this side, but they give you a set amount of experience to give to your players if they defeat a monster, no matter what level they are. I don't like that. That should be in the hands of the DM. You're probably thinking, well, you're the DM, can't you just override that and give your own experience? True, but that's not my only issue. My second issue with this game. Here's the character sheet for 4.0. Keep in mind that all of this right here is useless. This here is useless. And these are all your skills for 4.0. Not many. So not a lot of customization. Now, let's take a look at the 3.5 character sheet. Right here. This is only one of the two sheets for 3.5, but bear with me. These are all of your skills. That's a lot more customization. Now, this particular character is a custom class. DMs, I recommend making custom races and custom classes. It adds some originality to games instead of the cookie cutter stuff that the manuals give you. This isn't a manual, I just have the thing there, but whatever. For example, this character right here is a Death Knight, which is a monster in 4.0 and is a monster slash class in other editions, but this is a custom made Death Knight class. It's a bit overpowered, but oh well. But Dungeons and Dragons was the first game I ever played. I still enjoy playing it. I played 3.5 with my group. Another game I recommend for my friends would be Call of Cthulhu. Dungeons and Dragons is a typically a medieval fantasy setting. Call of Cthulhu, however, takes place in the 1920s, and it's a horror game. Horror. For example, my group, the players are investigators, which typically take up jobs that seem like they are related to anything dealing with monsters and the portals they came from, because they know the dark truth of the universe that these things exist. The game is actually entirely based off of the Cthulhu mythos, which was first created by H.P. Lovecraft, which this is a book of some of his short stories. I really like his work. But the game is interesting because, one, the players are only human. They can easily die. Two, they can also go insane. Literally, this is a character sheet for Call of Cthulhu. You have sanity points. Once these hit 0, or actually, 0, your character's insane, which is awesome. Now, the difference between this also and Dungeons & Dragons, Dungeons & Dragons has levels. This doesn't. Throws that system right out the door. Instead, you have only your skills, which, by the way, this game mostly works off of percentage rules, especially for skill checks. Now, when you successfully perform a skill, your game moderator, also known in this game as the Keeper of Dark Secrets, will tell you if you can checkmark that skill or not. At the end of the session, players will look over their skills, and any skills that have check marks next to them, they can roll to see if that skill goes up. If it does, they'll roll a d6, take whatever they roll and add that to the skill, and they're now better in the skill, which seems much more realistic. It's also much more challenging at times. For example, and also your sanity points, you have a max sanity, which there's also a skill called the Cthulhu Mythos. The higher your skill is for Cthulhu Mythos, which isn't percentage, the lower your max sanity. So it's realistic in that area as well. I really like Call of Cthulhu. So is my group. It's an interesting setting and it's an interesting system. And also, if you want to work with games based off of H.P. Lovecraft's work, this isn't a role-playing game per se, but it does have some role-playing elements. The board game Arkham Horror by Fantasy Flight Games. I bought this. Still smells like the game shop. Oh, that smells good. Incense. I bought this about 2 weeks ago at my local gaming store, the Coyote's Den. It smells good, but the smell is not included in all places. And the game is, once again, based off of the Lovecraft stories. It's actually quite fun. The players will walk around the town of Arkham, Massachusetts, fictional town. They will collect items, kill monsters, explore different dimensions by going through gates that pop up around the town, and then when they come out, they try to close and seal those gates. All the while, if too many gates open, the ultimate evil, depending on which ancient one you choose at the start of the game, will awaken if too many gates open up, and you have a very slim chance of defeating said ancient one. In fact, out of all the times we've played this game in the past 2 weeks, which we've played it many times, we've only been able to defeat the ancient one twice, and that's because of pure luck. Plus, the second time we did it, the guy who killed the ancient one, he was really tanked up with a bunch of bonuses and everything. But those are the 3 main games that my group and I play, and those are the games I really recommend. They're a lot of fun. They're very interesting. So I recommend checking them out. 3.5 manuals for D&D you might have to buy off online. Same for Call of Cthulhu manuals if you can't find them. As for Arkham Horror, it's probably in your local gaming store. Anyways, I'm Mark Holmes. I'm done. Signing off. So long.